Welcome to another episode of Jay Leno's Garage. Today we get something pretty cool. You know, when I was 15 years old, Hertz, the rent-a-car company, did something totally unprecedented. You could rent a Shelby Mustang, a GT350, or as they called it, the GT350H for Hertz. Now, this is an actual Shelby race car for this street. It wasn't tuned down. It had the 4-speed. Or an automatic if you wanted, but it was a proper Shelby car. It was the first time I had ever heard anybody do anything like that. And they were charging $17 a day and 17 cents a mile, which when you're 15 is all the money in the world. 17 cents a mile. So if I go 10 miles, it's $1.70. That's crazy. No, that's ridiculous. I'm not paying that. No, I'm not going to do that. It seemed too expensive. Well, that was a long time ago. And now 50 years later, they're doing it again. You can actually rent another Shelby from Hertz. We'll take this one for a ride. We'll do sort of an in-depth analysis of this car with the owner, because I've never driven one of the Shelby Hertz cars. I've got my own GT350, but it wasn't one of these, and I'm curious to see how much different they were. But let's find out about this new program real quickly. Mark, come on in. It's Mark Domer. You're in charge of what, the Shelby program, maintenance? What is it?
I'm the director of vehicle maintenance for the Hertz Corporation.
Okay, cool,
yes.
cool. Now, these are actual Shelbys, right? They're not tarted up Mustangs you guys just painted.
That's correct.
Okay.
These were from Ford. They were delivered to the Shelby factory in Las Vegas. Shelby added various Ford performance parts, including a catback exhaust, and a lot of suspension work was done as well.
Now, this was $17 a day, 17 cents a mile, so imagine it must be up to $22, $23 a day by now, right? What is it?
These are actually $399 per day.
A day.
That's
and how much per mile?
There's no charge for the mileage.
Oh, so you can put 10,000 miles on in the afternoon if you want.
That's correct.
Oh, that's a bargain. That's fantastic. Well, so there's no charge. See, that killed me when I was a kid, because I'm sitting there with my piggy bank. Okay, I got, how many 17 cents do I have? Okay, how many miles could I drive? I mean, I was too young. You had to be 25, I think, at the time, right? Something like that. Not even 21, 25, which when you're 15, that's the end of the world. It's not going to happen. Well, this is actually pretty cool, this program, because you were the first guys to actually do that, huh? Rent a race car.
That's right. Hertz is very innovative. We wanted to make sure that we could put a high-performance vehicle such as this in the hands of really anyone that you said had $17.17 a mile.
Now, I used to hear all the stories. I used to hear stories that people would rent them, take them home, pull the engine out, take their mom's 262 barrel, put it back in the Ford, and put the high performance engine. Any documentation, did that kind of thing ever actually go on? You know,
I've heard those stories myself for years. Like you, I'm an avid car enthusiast, and I've told those stories as well. I don't have any evidence. I can't dispute or confirm them, but I know from our 2006, the 40th anniversary edition, that we did have some, let's say, indiscretions.
Indiscretion. So this is the third time they've done this rent a race car thing. They did it in '66. Then you did it the 40th and the 50th. Well, what happened on the 40th? Did you? Okay,
so for the 2006, information was provided to me that one of the vehicles had been entered in the Silver State Classic, which is the open road race in Nevada.
So you're watching the race, and hey, wait a minute, and you saw one of the race cars.
Exactly.
Wow. Now what happened? Did you notify the owner and say?
Well, we have a claims department that takes care of that.
Oh, that's their problem. Yeah.
Right. No, I happened to see it, and it was in black and white. It's just there's no denying that somebody had done that. So
wow.
Yeah, but we absolutely do not permit that to happen. We've learned a lot since '66, even since 2006.
Right.
So we have some controls in place. In fact, we have a check sheet that we go through to make sure that everything that started in the car is still in the car when the customer returns
the wheels and all that kind of stuff.
That's right.
Because I remember let me show you some of the vintage ads. These were really cool. I remember seeing this one on the back of Road and Track. It showed the back of the Shelby. It was, like it was peeling out in front of you, and then you could go rent. I mean, you could go rent that. Nowadays in Beverly Hills, there's Rent an Exotic with Lamborghini and Ferrari and all that kind of stuff. But this was unprecedented, because you were the first guys to actually come up with this idea. Huh?
Absolutely.
Of renting a car for fun as opposed to just to get from Baltimore to DC or whatever,
That's right. We are a company of car guys,
right,
like you and me, And the Shelby experience really expanded through today with our adrenaline collection. We have a host of vehicles that are available. Now, the Shelby's very special, this year.
Okay.
But we always have vehicles available along those lines.
So what's that? See, I just assumed it was you ordered a bunch of black Mustangs from Ford, but these actually come from the Shelby factory.
That's
very
right.
Good. Well, very cool. So, and where? Yeah, what? All locations? 17?
17 locations, and they're available for rental now through the end of the year. We'll begin selling them toward the end of the summer. They'll be at the Hertz car sale lots and auctions.
Okay. So how many miles does a car get before you sell it off? So like 10,000?
Well, with these vehicles, it'll be fairly lower mileage. They're not rented. They're not like the general fleet where they're out constantly. So the mileage will be lower. So these will probably have less than 10,000 miles, depending upon how long we keep them.
All right. Well, very cool. Can we take a look at the engine on this one?
Yeah, Jay, absolutely. We'd love to show you the latest Rent-A-Racer. Yeah, we're going to slide it to the side, yeah.
That's a 5-liter, right?
Yes, 435 horsepower, 400 pound-feet of torque.
Okay. And there are a few modifications, right? I see a K&N, a couple of other things. Exhaust.
Yep, we have the Shelby covers. There is a catback exhaust, as I said, which takes 30 pounds off.
Yeah, very cool.
And the Ford Performance.
Oh, what is that like? It does take 30 pounds off that much, huh? Wow.
It sounds great. Yeah. It really does.
Cool, cool. Now, is there a waiting list to rent these, or how does it work?
They can make the reservations through a travel agent or directly online at hertz.com or call our 800 number.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It's a great car. It sounds spectacular.
Now, can I put this in the Silver State Classic?
Let me call my boss about that one, Jay.
And then probably demolition derbies are out of the question.
That's definitely
all right. But it's still pretty cool in these litigious times that they're still doing this Rent-A-Racer program. I think that's kind of cool.
We're really excited to have it back, Jay. As I said, we are a performance-oriented company. We have enthusiasts throughout the organization.
Very nice, very nice. Here, let's close this up again. Oh, there you go. Mark, thank you.
Okay.
Let's meet Daniel. Daniel is the owner of this car. Daniel, come on in here. I always have a hard time pronouncing it. How do you say it?
Swanya.
Swanya.
There you go.
What kind of name is that?
Well, I'm a Puerto Rican. I'm from your part of town practically. You're from Connecticut, I believe.
Well, no, I'm from Boston. Actually.
Boston. I'm from New York originally.
Okay. Well, when you live in LA, those are next door neighbors.
There you go. There you go.
Now you've been a Mustang guy.
Oh my God, for 40 years.
Right.
40 years. 15 years old when you said that you the first one you saw. Well, I had the same experience practically. I was 15 or 16 years old,
right?
And I saw this car. I had just gotten off a bus, and it was late at night, 2 o'clock. I had just gotten off from work, and I worked a little part-time job. So I get off this bus, and across the street was a Citgo gas station.
Okay.
Now this is nobody out. The lights were shining, and this beautiful black car with this gold stripe. And I saw this car, and as I walked across the street to find out what it was, he had filled up with gas, and he was protruding down the street, right? Through the building, the echo of this Mustang.
Right, right.
It was fantastic. I was captured.
Yeah.
I was captured.
And was it a Hertz car? Or just
Actually, it was a Hertz.
Okay, well, very cool.
Hertz.
Now, did you always want one of the Hertz ones, or just a GT350?
Well, Jay, when I first saw the car, I didn't realize that a GT350 in 65, but I saw this car. So I did my homework. And I realized what Shelby had did with a 65, such popular car that beat all the races. And then they gave it to this car as a rental car.
Right.
Now, we're talking 306 horsepower.
Right.
And some of them had 4 speeds.
Yeah.
If you were lucky enough to get that first 85 that came off the lot.
So they made 85 with 4 speeds. I remember Hertz did 1,000 cars.
1,000 cars.
Right.
Actually, 1,001, but we won't go there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But 85 of them were 4 speeds.
The first one's coming off. They needed to fulfill the contract.
Okay.
So whatever came off the line at that time, they had to fulfill the contract.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
And how long have you had this one?
This car is relatively new. This is about 5 years, 4 to 5 years old right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you've been a Mustang. This is not your first Mustang.
No, actually, I owned I own 2 Hertz, and I own 2 street versions. And the first car that I purchased was number 1718, and that was in 2002, 2001.
Oh,
actually.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, boy, it's a beautiful job. I mean, it looks like you've done a proper restoration. You've got the, I thought those original Goodyear Blue Streaks, I said, we're going to drive this with old tires, but those are the Coker ones, huh?
These are Coker repos, and let me tell you, they do a great job, and this is what you would have saw this car with that Blue Streak and those Magnum 500s.
Are those radials on that?
They are biased, believe it or not.
Oh, they're bias
They are
blind?
biased.
Okay. I always love this dramatic color combination of black and gold. Well, let's take a look at the motor on this
Sure.
one. This is
There we go, Jay.
one of the prettiest engine compartments. I always love this 289, the thin wall casting, the V8. This is a great, great motor back in the day. And it looked sexiest when it had those Webers on it. Remember? You used
Now,
to see?
that was 48 IDAs.
Yeah.
And you know, you could have bought that from Shelby, and it came in the trunk.
Right.
That or the supercharger or the dual quad, which was the AFBs.
Right, right.
Now, this particular car, the Hertz,
Right.
it had an Autolite carburetor. They got rid of the, it was just too much to work with, was the Le Mans,
Right.
which was the 715 Senna squirter, right? Great for 6,000, 7,000 RPM all day long, no problem.
Right, right.
So they did a little bit more taming, like you said. The engine is typically the same. It's a solid lifter engine.
Right.
It's still 306 horsepower. What they did, they changed the rear end gear ratio from a 389 stock or a 411
Right.
that you probably have in your
Right.
65 120, and this is a 350 gear ratio.
Right.
Now, most of the cars, like we said, had the automatic transmission, which was a C4,
Right.
C4, and it was a cruise-o-matic. It was great for running around the streets. Typically, it's the same engine, just a little modification. It still had the high-rise manifold,
Right.
still had your tri-wire hitters, okay, and of course, the engine compartment has your export brace and your Monte Carlo bar.
Right, right.
Yeah, radiator, fan, everything else is the same.
Because in the normal Mustang, this would have been 271 horsepower hypo.
8K
And the
model.
Shelby is 306. And of course, to be a real Shelby, whether it's Hearst or not, you have to have this. That's the CSX number, isn't it?
CSF mech. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is Shelby Ford Mustang.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And what it is the progression number. And this happens to be number 964.
Wow, that's one of
And
the
this
later
is the
ones.
original.
Yeah.
Original.
And you have to be careful because a lot of guys will take a Mustang, repo it, remanufacture one of these and stick it on. So if you ever look to buy a Shelby, be it a Hertz or a regular 350, check with the guys in the Mustang Club, experts like him, and he will tell you whether that's a real badge or not. Very cool, very nice.
Jay, you know that under this badge and on the other side, same as yours, it's a Ford VIN number.
Oh,
And
okay.
that Ford VIN number has to match with the records of the SAAC. And the only people who have that is the registrar. The
Oh,
registrar
okay.
for 65 and 66 on these particular cars.
And dumb question, why are the springs a different color? Any reason?
There is no, actually, when Shelby ran out of paint on certain things, now it could be almost a silver color,
Right.
which was what do you call a hard chrome maybe. This particular color, I chose to paint this car with the restoration. It's been what, 50 years now, okay?
Right.
So what I wanted to do was give it a little bit more appearance for attractiveness.
Okay, cool.
And of
cool.
course, you've got the orange colored shocks, and they are conies, correct?
Right, those are conies. That's the coney color, isn't it?
That's
Orange?
it,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
it.
very nice. You know, this is still the best looking Mustang to me, this first generation car. I don't know whether it's because I saw one when I was a kid, but to me, I remember I was there April 17th, 1964, Shawsheen Motors. They had the, they had the drapes over the windows you couldn't see, and you got a free hot dog or a donut and a glass of lemonade to come in and look at the car. We kids are waiting on, and you kind of walk in and I mean, now you have the internet. Now you see everything right away. But back then, the car would actually go to the dealership. They'd soap up the windows or cover them so you couldn't see the new cars coming.
Yeah.
And then
Surprise.
surprise. Yeah, it was just like, but like when you're 15, it was a huge deal. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. Very
Jay,
funny.
did you ever belong to the Hertz Rent-A-Car Club?
No, they had a club?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah?
Oh yeah. If you were happened to be the executive, and you just stated that, you had to be 25 years old.
Right.
You had to have a credit card.
Right.
Did you have a credit card when you were 15?
No, I didn't have a credit card when I was 25. Yeah.
You could never got this
No,
card.
no.
But if you did, and if you had come into the international, usually the international airports,
Right.
and if you had advanced, made reservation for this car,
Right.
if you did it more than once, what they would have given you would be a bag the first time around
Right.
that said Hertz Rent a Race or Rent a Car.
Okay.
They had bags. They had little little goodies.
Yeah.
Whether it be a mug the second time around.
I'm guessing you have all these things.
You know, I'm trying to find. I
Oh,
got a
you're
couple.
trying to find some?
They're hard, far and in between.
Well,
now.
talk to the Hertz guy. Maybe he can dig one out
You think
for
I
you.
can get one from this one?
Yeah, yeah.
Good idea.
That'd be cool. Get the whole package. Collect the whole. I mean, that's kind of the fun of, you know, once the car is restored, what do you do now? Well, now you go look for vintage ads, old pictures, old previous owners, all that kind of thing.
Well,
and you've got all the badges. Explain to what the badges are on here. I know the Shelby Club, okay, in honor of Carol Shelby. And this is your badge here.
Actually, I think you knew this gentleman. This was Tony Sousa. Tony Sousa. We made this for his memory.
Right.
And actually, there's every year on the Santa Monica Pier.
Oh yeah, sure. I went to it this year.
Can you read that?
Tony Sousa Car Show. Yeah, I went
you
this year.
go.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, this is Tony's, and he was a very a person who was a fanatic for Shelby's, and he brought so many people together. And he's one of the guys who brought me into the stable.
Okay.
Anyhow, for the remembrance of him, and I have this sticker for him.
And you got Carol Shelby to sign the.
Yes, Carol signed all my cars. I have pictures with him in Vegas, and he signed this. Yes.
Well, the rare ones are the unsigned cars, you know.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I got Carol to sign mine. Carol Shelby loved to sign his
He signed a lot of
Oh,
things,
he
yeah.
signed a lot of them, so it was really
But
cool.
let me ask you this, Jay. On the visors here, there are the OVC, which is original Venice crew. Those are the gentlemen who actually built these cars.
Right, down by the airport.
There you
yeah,
go.
Yeah,
There
very
you
good.
go.
And were these done at the airport as well?
These were only done at the airport.
Oh, okay.
Now, yours is 65. That was at Venice.
Okay.
Now, this is Imperial Highway
yeah,
out at
right,
the airport.
right.
Yeah.
Right, mine is car number 120,
120. Out of how many, Jay?
562.
Perfect.
See, this is useless information. This is,
I'm
while
testing
we're
you.
having a discussion, the wires are like,
I know.
you know, it's the same thing. Yeah, hilarious.
I know.
It's hilarious. It's completely useless information that's of no value to anybody except us. And you know, to me, when I was a kid, I know this wood grain steering wheel is plastic. I know it's fake. It doesn't even look like wood. I just think it's cooler than the wood steering wheel, just because it was the one that came in the car. You know, this is one of the cars they got right from day one. The Edsel was kind of a miss.
Ooh.
And when they came out with this, Ford was like, I don't know. But they got it exactly right. And Lee Iacocca was a marketing genius, because when this car came out, it had the smallest engine in the class, a 260 or a 289. And he was so afraid that people might think it was a secretary's car, you know, or just a grocery getter, because, you know, Chevy had the 327 with 350 car. So he went to Shelby and said, how do you make this thing aggressive? How do you make it, you know, people want to race these things? And that's what Shelby did. He made it an aggressive car and turned it into a race car.
He was a salesman, and he knew
Yeah.
what he was doing. I mean, he played the part. I tell you, he went through it.
Yeah, because really all it was a Falcon with a sexy body.
Una body fight. You're right.
Yeah, and that's all it was. Because I remember when they originally designed this car, there was talk of independent suspension and all this kind of stuff. Lee Iacocca says, nobody cares about that crap. Make it look sexy, give it a 4-speed, give it a V8. They'll sell 1 million of them.
And
you
how
know.
much did they sell?
Yeah, well, they sold, what, 1 million, almost 1 million the first year, right?
The first week they had an order, he thought he was going to sell maybe 22,000
Right.
in 6 months.
Right.
He sold 21,000 orders the first week.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was the first car that you could, the first car aimed at baby boomers.
This is true.
And it was the first car you could either get, it would look like a Mustang and be a 6-cylinder and cost $2,100, or it looked like a Mustang and was a race car and cost $4,800. I mean, you could option it any way you get AM, FM, air conditioning, different wheels. You know, nobody was really doing that. I remember going through the catalog, you could individualize it to the point where it was like crazy. I remember father, when we were kids in school, ordered one. And you'd think it was a Ferrari, because we grew up in a little town in New England. You know,
Right.
anything less than 4 doors is a sports car. And if your dad had one, oh my God, you were the coolest kid, you know?
Biggest guy,
Oh,
the
yeah,
biggest
yeah.
dog on the block, right?
Oh yeah, I knew one kid went to the prom just so he could drive his dad's Mustang. Couldn't care less about the girl or the prom. He just wanted to drive the Mustang.
There
So
you
he
go.
figured his dad would give it to him for the prom. I think he left the girl at the prom and went off and drove. Let me show you what happened. Can we take this one for a ride?
Hey, you know, Jay, it'd be my pleasure.
Cool, let's do
I think
it.
you could drive this?
I'd love to drive this. Yeah, yeah. I've never driven one of the Hertz ones, so I'm curious. So were you always a Mustang guy? Did you ever have the Firebird thing or the Camaro or any other cars, or was it just Mustang?
Jay, I got to be honest with you. I did give up the Mustang or the Ford product in 1969 for
Yeah.
a Dodge Super Bee.
Oh, okay. What motor?
That was a 383 with the
Okay.
four. It was a Magnum. It was the 440 heads on there.
Okay.
But my heart has always been
Yeah.
a Ford.
Yeah, yeah. So you cheated on the Mustang with a Super Bee.
And I came back running
But
after
you,
about
yeah,
2
okay,
years.
that's fine. See, I love driving these, and I don't know whether it's the nostalgia for the period. I don't know whether it's because when I was a teenager, it was the coolest thing out there. It was the only car that was really attainable. Corvettes were still way out of your price range. And this was out of the price range too, but I can remember in the 70s, a guy offered me one for $600. I'll give you $450 now. All right. And I know what I was thinking, you know, but back then they were just old beat up race cars.
That's exactly what Shelby said. They were just
Yeah.
race cars from yesterday, used cars.
Yeah, yeah.
If you had it to do over again, would you buy that car? In a heartbeat, $600.
Well, of course you would, but then again, it wasn't like I bought a $30,000 car. It was still a $600 car. You
That's
know,
true.
it was just an old car. And it's not that these handle that great or do anything. It's just the whole package that I really enjoy. You know, this is the kind of car. At this point, it's fun to drive swiftly, not fast.
Absolutely.
You know, you go out and maybe you scare yourself a little bit, but you have some fun with it.
You know, it's a weekend car that you go out and get thumbs up.
Yeah, and you know, there are certain cars that people do not resent you for. Corvettes and Mustang. You know, a lot of times you drive a Lamborghini, Ferrari, and for no reason people give you the finger or something. And I go, why? What'd I do? You know, but with this it doesn't get more American than this. I mean, this is a car that a whole generation of people grew up on and just fell in love with.
Well, the good thing about that, Jay, is the Mustang 64, and here it is 2016, and
Yeah.
they're still here.
Yeah, yeah,
The Firebird took a dump. Camaro just came back.
right,
Dodge Challenger, it just came back 4 years ago.
right.
But the Mustang has always been here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny that it's 50 years old. Because when we were teenagers, that would have been like us driving a car from 1915.
That's true.
You know,
That's
and you
true.
go, wow. I mean, this car is midway between the beginning and the evolution of the automobile. I mean, this is the exact halfway point to where we are now in the evolution of the car.
You're right.
And how far
you're
it's
right.
come.
You're right. Well, these were the cars that any backyard mechanic could actually tune,
Right.
repair, or replace.
Yeah, yeah.
And today in 2016, oh my God, computer, you don't know the car. You really don't know the car.
Yeah, I wonder if young people will have the same feeling when our generation goes, if these will still be collectible. I think they will be.
There's a lot of, I go to a lot of shows and cruises, and you'd be surprised that a lot of younger millennials will come up and ask me about the car and say, man, this is what I want. This is what my father had, and you know what? I really love this car.
Yeah.
And they're not the type at a point to get the Toyota or the Honda. But
you
they
know,
want something
yeah,
that they
I
can
meet
put-
guys all the time that either for their grandson or their son, they want to get them a Mustang. And I always say, don't do it, because accidents that would have killed you in 1965, you walk away from today.
Yeah, absolutely.
How many times you seen an SUV rolled up like a ball and the girl on the phone, Dad, can you come get me? It was in this thing or the Camaro or any of that stuff from the period. I mean, car safety has come so far.
These cars, there was no such thing as a airbag,
No.
ABS for the brakes. It's just. But if it wasn't for this car, you wouldn't have the safety features that you have today.
An airbag is when you called your dad when he was driving with you and telling you to slow down. That was an airbag back in the 60s.
This is true.
Yeah. And this is the perfect, this is a classic example of they got it right the very first time. I thought the 67 was okay. I hated the mid-70s Mustangs. This design, this is, you know, sometimes it takes years and years for the purity. It's like when I look at my 53 Hudson Hornet, it's a beautiful car. You know, later fins came and all the other stuff. But in hindsight, it's clean, it's smooth, it's got just the right amount of chrome. And this 65, 66 Mustang, this is, especially the fastback. Just the perfect look. So what was the first Mustang you bought? Was it a Shelby or was it a regular Mustang?
No, Jay, at the age of 17, which was my junior year in school, I was working two jobs in the summertime, and I had to borrow $400 from my younger brother to purchase a 1965 A-code fastback GT, not a GT350, but a GT.
Right.
It was one of the first cars of the fastbacks to come out. I think it was about July. I think they came about, and it was a $1,400 car, and I negotiated the price from a used car lot out the door, $1,400.
Yeah. But $1,400 is like $15,000.
It was at that point.
Yeah.
But when I first saw that 66 Hertz coming out from the gas station one night, I knew that my next car, whenever I'm going to have one, it's going to be in my future, would be a GT350.
Right. That's funny. Never had the Corvette fever, huh?
No, Jay. I got to hold you back on that because I have a 63 split window.
Oh, there you go. Good for you. Like me, I got a 63 split window too. You know, these are so much fun to drive. I've got the McLaren and the Porsches and all that kind of stuff. But there's just something about it, just the nostalgia of it. It just makes me smile. You know, you lose it at a lower speed, if that makes any sense. So consequently, you're driving a little slower, but it's just as exciting because you're trying to keep it within its boundaries, you know.
You want to go over the line just a little bit because it brings you back to that time at 16,
right.
17
I mean, this is, you know, it's so funny. Everybody talks about the McLaren F1. No anti-lock, no traction control, none of that. Well, it's not none of that either. There's none of that either, but it's still a car that's attainable. Maybe not the Shelby, but the regular fastback Mustang.
It's a fun car to drive.
Oh, these are great fun. Well, we'll head back to the garage. We'll take it up on the freeway, and we'll put it in fifth, see how it cruises along here. Come on, let's go back to the shop. Well, it was a nice trip down memory lane. You know, I've never drove one of the Hertz cars. It doesn't drive different. It's actually almost the same. These are a lot more refined than the 65s. They're a bit more raucous. But I always love this black and gold combination. And thanks for bringing this by.
Thank you, Jay,
Thanks for keeping the faith. And thanks, Hertz, for bringing that rent-a-car around. Actually, we just did the whole search thing so I could drive this one. But, you know, you got to do that. It's a little bit of a trade-off. But that's a pretty exciting thing, too. And I think those cars will be collectible also. Because once all the miles get racked up, Hertz will sell them off, and somebody will buy it and restore it, and we're long gone. That'll be you know, on the 100th anniversary of the Mustang, some old guy will be showing up on that one. So thanks again.
Thank you, Jay.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.